Yeah, buddy. Quick bites.
Do you have any Burt Lancaster stories from Go Tell the Spartans?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I Go Tell the Spartans is about the Vietnam War experience. This was made very soon after the United States cleared out of Vietnam, and we all remember those pictures of the embassy with the helicopter taking off and the people scrambling to be the last one to get aboard, and all the people that were left behind. And so the extras in our set of the Beastmaster, which was filmed just north of here, where Magic Mountain is now, out in the watercress fields and in the cane breaks out there was where we filmed this. Go Tell the Spartans. All of the extras were the families, were the actual Vietnamese immigrants who had managed to make it out of Vietnam and were now the extras in our show. And there were colonels and captains and majors and generals and their wives and their children who are now out here reenacting on film a fantasy about the Vietnam War. And I was on the set with Burt Lancaster. So it was a real head spinner all the way around. But I remember I was playing his adjutant, his aide de camp, I guess you'd call it. And when we first started filming, we had a scene. He was sitting behind his desk like this, and he was the colonel, and I was standing here at his side. And all the rest of the cast and all the rest of the crew was gathered to watch this. Here's Burt Lancaster in his first scene on a film that we're all in. And I'm standing here and I'm thinking to myself, I'm acting with Burt Lancaster. I am acting with Burt freaking Lancaster. You dig? So he goes like this. I'm ready. So they say, okay, roll camera. And he's sitting like this. Says, action. And instead of acting, and I'm standing here, instead of acting, it's just him and me and it's something. So instead of acting, he's saying his line. He goes, you know, he says, and he looks at me and I go, you know's not in the script. Where's you know? He looks at me and says, you know, when I was a younger man, he says, and his face is old now and kind of wrinkly. Well, all I had to do was walk on the set and say, hey, baby. And he goes like this. He takes a puff on his cigar and says, well, who could resist me? He says, but as I've gotten older, I've had to learn how to act. He says. And the director, Ted Post, who's stunned, is standing behind, because the film is rolling all this time. He's standing behind there. Ted Post is wonderful, wonderful, lovely man. Goes, cut. So that was my first moment of working with Burt Lancaster. And he tried to teach me to walk on my hands. I've never been able to stand on my hands. Envied everybody who can walk on their hands or stand on their hands. I just can't do it. So at 70 years of age or whatever he was, smoking his Camel cigarette or his De Nobili cigar, whatever it was at the time, he says, here, kid, let me show you. And he gets up, he's overweight, he gets up on his hands and walks around in the desert in the soft sand, see, like this. And I try to do it and I can't get the balance right. And so I said, okay. So he goes back and he goes and does whatever he's doing, playing liar's poker or something. So he goes off and does what he's doing. And then I'm sitting there, I'm a young guy. This is my first feature film. And the producer comes up to me and says, what's the matter with you? I said, what are you talking about? He said, he's up on his hands. He's walking on his hands at his age. What if he has a heart attack and drops dead? He said, Burt Lancaster's not going to have a heart attack. That's Burt Lancaster. He doesn't do those things.
That's crazy.
And then the final thing I have two more things to say about that. One of them is I was on my way back to the dressing rooms from the set, And I told you, these are all veterans of this nasty, vicious, brutal war, Vietnam. And as I was walking up this dusty road to go back to the dressing rooms, suddenly the cane brake parted. And these two extras, these Vietnamese veterans, came out of the cane brake at me like this. And one of them had a double-barreled shotgun. And he stuck it in my face like this. And he pulled each trigger in succession. Click, click. And then the two of them looked at each other and laughed and disappeared back into the cane brake. And that's one of those moments when you think to yourself, making films exists on a different level in a different universe than many people understand. And the last thing I'll tell you about that is that came the time when my work was through and the film still had a few days left to film before, the company had a few more days left to film before we wrapped. And it was night, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And Burt Lancaster was walking back up that same trail toward the dressing rooms. No, he must have been going toward the set. And I was going toward the dressing rooms. And I stopped him and I said, Burt, I just wanted you to know what a great experience this was to share time with you on the set and to be working with you. And I said, you're a shining example for everybody in our profession and beyond in the world. He said, well, kid, he said, I just got here like everybody else. And he turned around and he walked off into the dark. And that was the last I ever saw him.